How's it going, everyone? It is Mike from the Hardcover comic here. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe and sound out there, enjoying your Image comics or whatever it is you may be reading. Today we're going to take a look at the MONSTRESS Hardcover Deluxe Edition. This collects the first 18 issues of the series. It's volume 1 of what I can only presume will be multiple volumes. I forget what issue exactly the series is on currently, but I mean, it's definitely still ongoing. And, packing 18 issues into one volume is pretty ambitious, but, they have high hopes for where this series is going. So it looks like, issue 39 dropped, is coming out in April. So we'll definitely be seeing a second deluxe edition. You can see some organic price books. Discount codes there. Fantastic service. Love organic price books. I'm looking at the spine here, the design of the book. It's very, very nice. Definitely fits the theme of the series itself, showcasing that Sana Takeda artwork, which is just incredible. Absolutely stunning artwork. So very excited I finally got to pick this up. This was one of the books that came through in my haul from 2020. So been sitting around for a couple years. I'm excited I finally got to dive in and see what the fuss is all about. Marjorie Liu is the writer, Sana Takeda is the artist. An incredible creative team. I must say this series was not what I was expecting at all. I wasn't sure what to expect. I had seen images of the artwork online. Beautiful stuff. I mean, just some of the best artwork I think you'll see in comic books, period, in terms of, just the amount of detail, the sequential storytelling of it. The colors are incredible as well. It all fits together so beautifully. I'm glad this is oversized. I wish it was a tiny bit more oversized even, which I know sounds crazy. This book is already relatively heavy, but if it was absolute size for this artwork, oh man, I'd be all over that. It's really amazing just to look and stare at it. It's one of those titles where the covers definitely match the interiors. There's arguably as much detail and focus put on the interiors as there is on the covers. In terms of the storyline itself, it follows Micah, half-wolf, who's this mysterious young woman you're introduced to at the start of this story. She gets involved with a feline necromancer, and a little lady that goes by either Little Fox or I think it's Nell that they call her. But a great little trio of characters. Having a cat necromancer is a pretty crazy idea, but it works really, really well. Adds for some levity to the title and some plot twists as well. But you essentially get thrown into this universe in what feels like the middle of a plot, and you sort of get Marjorie Liu pieces together the story as to what's happened up until this point. And the main characters trying to piece together exactly what's happened in their life, what's happening to them, why do they have this strange thing feeling inside them, this thing living inside them. I'm not going to spoil too much, of course. This is a review of the deluxe edition, but I don't want to give too much of it away in case you haven't read it yet. But it's really nice to see that exploration of that character, get a little bit of history into the universe as well, and trying to piece together exactly what's going on, because it's a crazy universe. Like I said, there are cat necromancers, there are tiger pirates. There's all sorts of awesome fantasy supernatural stuff going on in this title. The pairing up of Micah and Little Fox is fantastic as well. They're such a great duo. That's the morality play back and forth between the two of them is excellent. And I mean, look at this artwork. It's so nice. You start getting introduced to organizations within the universe, whether they're good or bad. Essentially, in this universe, like I mentioned, there are animal creatures that walk and talk. But there are, there's this distinction between humans and arcanic beings. Arcanic beings essentially have some sort of access to magic, or were touched by magic in one way, shape, or form. And so you've got like these witches and this entire organization of them that's sort of trying to maintain them, capture them. They're being traded as slaves. Really, really crazy and dark stuff. So it can feel a bit overwhelming at times as you're getting introduced to these wild things, and you're sort of trying to piece together how these things all tie together, and you're trying to stay patient because the answer's coming eventually. All in all, it makes for a very, very rich universe. I mean, this book, as I was reading it, reminded me of a sort of a combination of Game of Thrones, the show, the novels, and the manga Berserk. The vibe I got from it was definitely Berserk-like to me. This sort of, dark character who's done some things that are reprehensible, but how did they get to that point? What's the history behind that? How are they going to redeem themselves now that they've, that they're coming to grips with who they are? They're being hunted, they're being trailed, they're a sought after character for various reasons, whether that's some sort of predetermined destiny or something that's been some sort of manipulation that's caused them to become this key character in this universe. Very, very fascinating stuff. There's so much going on, and with all the beautiful artwork, you focus on the story, which is relatively heavy, and then you've got this amazing artwork to stare at as well, and just deeply, deeply enjoy. I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I can't wait for the second deluxe whenever that comes out. Hopefully later this year in 2022 or maybe 2023. Either way, I'm excited to see where the series is going. Each issue does feel like a relatively long read. You get a lot of story, you get some action, you get some mystery. So each issue feels very rewarding in its own way. I imagine if you collected this in single issues as it was coming out, you felt like you got your money's worth on a monthly basis or bi-monthly, whatever it was. I mean, if this artwork's being done every month, that's spectacular to me. But either way, great overall. I can't recommend it enough. It's definitely a series I'll want to reread. I think it's one of those titles where as you learn more and you piece together the universe a lot more, the universe a lot more as the story progresses, it'll be very rewarding to at some point go back once you have all this knowledge about the universe and revisit some of the earlier chapters. Maybe I'll notice things that I hadn't noticed initially on my first read through, things like that. That's sort of the potential I feel from this series. So that's very exciting to me. As someone who likes to buy books with a reread factor, I think having a dense universe like this really adds, a lot of that. You can go back and re-enjoy the universe and see things that you hadn't seen on your first read through. It's fantastic. The end of each issue also has this slightly comedic and informative sort of excerpt from an essay from one of these necromancer cats, in some cases a professor. In the back you've got some bonus content. You get a bit of a glossary. Like I said, dense universe. And then you get a bunch of early sketches, getting to see the creative process behind the universe and the characters crafted within that universe. Always fun stuff to see in a deluxe edition, especially in this oversized format. I mean, who wouldn't want to look at that? The Shadow of Colossus vibe is very real. If you don't know what that is, it's a fantastic game for PS2 back in the day. I think they did a remaster. That definitely felt elements of that in this title as well. But I mean, just so much beautiful artwork to look at and a brief description of the creators at the end. Hope you all enjoyed. I highly recommend picking this book out. Can't recommend it enough. Go to Organic Price Books and do that. Use the promo code THC2. You'll get $2 off your order. Or if you get 3 or more books and Monstress is part of that shipment, you can save 5% by using the promo code THC. Ship it together. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Thank you all for listening to me ramble on about yet another Image Comics series. Love the publisher very much. What did you think of the title? Are you looking forward to Volume 2? Have you been on the fence about Volume 1? You should go pick it up if you can. I honestly haven't checked prices for it, but I would hope that it's still somewhat available. If not, get the trade paperbacks. The artwork's amazing. The story's so rich and satisfying. I highly recommend it. Thank you all for tuning in.